Hi, welcome back to Broker Brains. I am Shanna O'Brien, Cascadian Northwest Real Estate.
And Andy Costello with Venture Commercial Real Estate. What are we going to talk about today, Shayna?
Well, Andy, you had a fun story to share recently about another agent who was
Name calling.
name calling. Yeah, kind of a bully. So let's talk about how agents should respond to that because it was not nice.
Yeah, so I'm sure this has happened to many experienced agents where if you're representing, in particular, the seller, the buyer's agent kind of threatens you because they're not getting their way. We were getting into a multiple offer situation and not responding with her 5 hour response time frame, which of course is absurd and unacceptable in of itself. So then it was the text started of, this is semi-skirting the line of not being ethical, that you're not responding, and which I had responded to her saying, we're not going to respond today, but we'll get back to you tomorrow. So I was trying to open the lines of communication. And then, the next day it was, we still don't have a response. And, I once had a mentor tell me that it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a minute to destroy it. And I used to respect you, and you're now, I'm losing this respect for you. And it was like, well, you submitted an offer $100,000 under asking price for a property that's been on the market for 30 days. My seller's not in a hurry to counter because I don't even know if we have a deal here. I mean, we're so far apart. Yeah. And so first off, I don't think she did her client any favors, but I thought it was going to be a good topic for us to talk about because at the end of the day, don't be a jerk. But, resorting to name calling isn't going to further that relationship ever. I mean, now our relationship will be irreparably damaged. I don't see us having lunch together anytime soon like we've done in the past. And, I've now lost all my respect for her. Now, maybe that feeling is mutual. But, even when we ended up talking on the phone and I said, I was really offended when you told me that I was being semi-unethical with, my client not responding right away, which also we can't control our clients.
Correct.
I was trying to bring up the conversation and she just ignored me and kept talking like I didn't say anything. So I was like, oh, I guess we're just going to ignore that this happened.
Right.
It's one of those things that it's like, well, I could go talk to her managing broker. What's that going to do?
It's not going
to accomplish anything, right? And so I know that, you know that. So, you're just sort of left like, okay, I have to work with you for the betterment of our clients to get to the end goal. But, and I'll probably do more deals with her in the future. There's only so many other commercial brokers in Vancouver. But, it just kind of course, left a sour taste in my mouth. But I just thought it'd be a good, how do we address this?
It happens to a lot of people where it's the person on the other side thinks that they're going to play hardball. And then at the end, they're going to be like, oh, but it's just business, right?
Yeah. Right.
Which, okay, I get it to some extent. It is business and you are there to represent your client's best interest, all those things that we already know, but you can do it without being a jerk.
Yes. And I always wanted to say, like, didn't your mama teach you, like, you get farther with honey than, you do with vinegar? And it's like, just being nice and checking in. And, like today, I'm waiting to hear back on an offer. And so I texted the agent like, hey, you were very clear about the response time, but just thought I'd ask if anything changed, like I'm not going to beat them up over like not getting back to us. But, trying to keep those lines of communication open. So, while in your mind or when you hang up the phone, you certainly can call people's names, call them names like in the privacy of your own office or your own home.
Or you can text me and trash talk anybody you want to. And I'm a vault. It won't go anywhere.
Just for future reference, know that person might be a jerk. But, doing it directly to the other agent when most likely the agents that are doing business, you're going to run into again. It's just, it doesn't further the relationship.
You can't burn the bridge.
No.
I mean, if you burn the bridge, you're screwing over a client you don't even have yet.
Correct.
That's going to want to write on that person's property or something. It all comes around full circle every time.
Yes. So I'm sure you've experienced something similar to this.
Yeah, there are some big time bullies in Clark County. In fact, I just made a little reel about it the other day. Oh. About some of the agents, and I mean, I'm old. I'm not age discriminating. You know what I mean? When I say some of the older agents, they're my age, but they are so dismissive and demeaning toward newer, younger agents, where they just, think that if they get into a transaction, they can take over the whole thing, tell the newer agent exactly how it's going to go, and they're not always right.
Right.
Because as you commented and we kind of talked about, longevity does not equal good business.
Correct.
Just because you've been doing it a long time, there's nothing to say you haven't been doing it wrong the whole time.
Right. And just because you've been in business for 20 or 30 years, if you're only doing 5 to 8 deals a year, that, doesn't really equate to that many transactions versus somebody that's maybe newer but closing 5 to 8 transactions a month, because they're hustling and they're building their business.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot in our side of the business. It's like, well, I'm sure you know this, but in a very condescending tone.
Let me tell you how this works.
Yes, yeah.
And that drives me crazy. Yes. And I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but it's men to women. There's a ratio there of older men to younger women.
Yes.
They're just going to take over and make it easy on you, little darling, because you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I get super heated about this because now my daughter works with me, and she's one of those 25-year-old extremely competent agents. She does a lot of TC work too, so she can run circles around some of these people when it comes to knowing what's in the paperwork. And yet she looks like she's about 19, and when she shows up, they're like ready to just, here's a kid who doesn't know anything. Yeah. Let me tell him how to do it. And most of the people who have that kind of attitude are wrong 50% of the time anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're old dogs, haven't learned a new trick, and are doing things the way it was done 10 years ago.
Yes.
It's a problem in this industry.
I would agree.
Because this industry changes so fast.
Right.
Things evolve, like new forms come out, things update. And then you're dealing with somebody who pulls their forms out of a file cabinet to fill them out with a pen, the way we used to do it on the hood of the car after the showing.
Yeah.
And then they're going to tell these new people how to do a deal.
Yes. Well, and I think there are nice ways to provide feedback to an agent. Like I remember one of my first deals, the agent was like, "Are you sure you meant to check that box?" And I was like, "I think so. Was I not supposed to?" And then she was like, "No, you were supposed to check this, but not that." And I was like, "Okay, thank you. We'll just do an addendum. Everything can be fixed with an addendum as long as both sides are willing to play." So, there are nice ways to provide feedback.
It's all about the attitude. It's like, that's an attitude of like, we just recently got an offer into our office on one of my agents' listing. Most poorly written offer you've ever seen. Just everything on it is wrong. And she's like, "What do I do with this garbage?" I'm like, "Do you have any other offers?"
Yeah.
No. I'm like, "Then you fix the garbage and you say, 'Hey, just heads up, I think you meant to say this instead of that.'" Mm-hmm. I'm like, just flip the script and just look at it as, I'm an agent with some experience who understands these mistakes. Let me pay it forward and help this person get better. Yeah. As opposed to, look at this piece of shit offer that I got. I don't even want to deal with it. Yeah. It's just a mindset. It's just like that tiny little mindset adjustment that, bullies don't have the ability to change that mindset because they think that the way they're doing it is okay to begin with.
100%. And I think that there's a way that you can not only formulate the feedback, but hopefully they'll use it as a learning opportunity and then pay it forward to somebody else.
Exactly. And it's a matter of just how you approach it. So we can't control when somebody is going to be just losing their mind about, you didn't respond, you're unethical. We can only control how we respond back to it.
Right.
And adding fuel to the fire of now 2 of us are going to lose our minds isn't going to help.
Yes, exactly.
So everybody get into your Zen zone. Find a good mantra to repeat to yourself, like, I will not be bullied. I will not be bullied.
And I think you and I have a shared philosophy about like more of a collaborative approach with working with co-op brokers and trying to learn from each other and help each other. At the end of the day, we're both trying to represent our clients to the best of our ability.
We're trying to close the same deal.
Right.
We're trying to close the same deal, the same transaction from the 2 different sides, but we both don't get paid until we get it closed.
Right.
So
100%.
So if you have ever encountered any of this kind of stuff in your career, we'd love to know how you dealt with it.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching this week. Take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too. We'll see you next week.
Bye.